Well, hello there. This is Joan Teglovic, and I want to welcome you to my presentation, The Invisible Belly, 5 Simple Shifts that thin and healthy people use so that they can lose weight, get into better shape, but most importantly, effortlessly keep it off. You know, it's great to have you here, and I want to thank you for spending the time to come here and watch this. Now, I'm sure that you've probably been on other webinars where, they play games and tell stories, and it's like, come on, let's just get to the good stuff. You know what? That's the way that I like to run my webinars. So what I'm going to do, if you do not mind, is to dive right into the good stuff, as I have some really fantastic content for you today. So let's go ahead and talk about who this is for. This is actually for women who have been struggling for years with yo-yo dieting, yo-yo eating, losing weight, then gaining it back, and then unfortunately gaining more back. Or for those that are ashamed that they really cannot control their weight or their eating habits, and they're sick and they're tired a lot. And for those who have given up hope but know that there has to be a better way. You know, if you want to once and for all end this crazy way of living and never have to go on a diet again, then you know what? This is for you. In the next 45 minutes, what we're going to talk about is how you can sculpt an incredibly head-turning body without going on crazy diets. And how to finally fit into your skinny jeans, even if you haven't been able to for years. And how you can control yourself around foods, even if you haven't been able to in the past. And we're going to talk about how you can actually shed, once and for all, that unwanted belly fat without worrying about losing it and then gaining it back. We're also going to cover how you can quickly drop 8 to 20 pounds in 30 to 60 days or less, even if you're going through a bad time in your life emotionally right now, and even if you've tried 100 times before. We're going to talk about how to actually live in the body of your dreams, even if you've given up. And we're going to talk about how to easily control cravings, binge eating, and mood swings, even if you have tried and failed. And we're going to talk about how you can leverage my secret weapon that you can use right now to quickly and easily drop your extra weight without stepping into a gym. And you know what? Here is my promise to you. On this webinar, I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy that you can use to take control over your weight loss and show you the exact process that my clients have used to lose weight quickly and, most importantly, never gain it back. Because I know you know how to lose weight, but losing it and keeping it off forever, that's what we're going to talk about, okay? But before we get into that, I want to check it in with you first and see, does this sound like you? Perhaps you say you want a nice body, but you eat everything in sight. You want to get into better shape, but you sleep in instead of going to the gym like you promised yourself. Or maybe your doctor's telling you that you need to lose weight for some medical reasons. Or maybe you might need a knee replacement or some other type of a major surgery. Or maybe you really want to start going on a bike ride or take a walk at the beach or at the park, but you're always huffing and puffing from lack of energy. And you're going shopping again, looking for new clothes again, because you can't button your pants or your clothes are getting too tight for you. Or maybe this sounds like you. You're just plain sick of struggling with your weight, and you've tried all kinds of diets and food plans. You've read all the books. You're very informed, but you're still not where you want to be. Or maybe you secretly feel that food controls you. And you know what? You're ashamed because you know you really cannot stop no matter what you try, and you fear that you're going to keep gaining weight. And maybe you're confused about what to eat because of all of the food choices out there. On average, we get over 119 food choices per day. It's a lot of food choices. It's a lot of confusion. And maybe you're secretly ashamed because at your age, you really should know what to eat, but you just don't do it. And maybe this sounds like you. You're tired of not having any energy and always getting sick. And you're beginning to wonder if you're ever going to be slim, and if possibly your sexy days are behind you. Or maybe you wake up in the middle of the night because deep down inside, you're scared that your mate's really not even that attracted to you anymore. And that maybe you're not that attractive anymore because of your weight issues. And you're secretly afraid that you could have an illness or a disease from the way that you've been eating over the years. And you're scared that your kids could lose their mom because of your healthy eating over all of the years. Well, you know what? If any of these sound like you, I've got some really good news, because none of them are the real problem. They're all symptoms of a bigger problem. You see, the real problem is that you have not made what I call the shifts. And we're going to talk about what these are in just a second, okay? But for right now, I just want you to know this, that once you make these shifts, you're going to finally feel beautiful and confident and sexy again. You're going to start to look and feel amazing in your clothes. And you can wear your skinny jeans or maybe that little black dress or that outfit that you've been wanting to wear for a long time. You're going to know exactly what to eat and how much to eat. Your health and energy will start to improve. Your body will start to recover and heal from years and years of yo-yo eating and lifestyle. And you know what? You're not going to be confused about what the heck to eat anymore, because food will be fueling you and helping you to heal. And you're going to know what you should eat, whether you're at a dinner party or you're just out to dinner, you're eating at home with your family, or maybe you're out on a date, or you're at work or out to lunch, or perhaps there's a wedding or some type of an event that you're going to. You are going to know exactly what to eat wherever you are, even if you're traveling. And you know what? Food will no longer run your life. You will be in control, and you're going to love it. Also, once you make these shifts, imagine this. You're going to walk into a room, and all eyes are on you because of the beauty and the confidence that you exude. You're going to start to see muscles and muscle tone that you haven't seen in maybe years. And you know what? You're going to look in the mirror in amazement because all of that fat is literally starting to melt away right in front of your eyes. And people around you will start to respect and admire you. And you know what? You're going to be able to go shopping and buy whatever you want because you're proud of your body that you have. Not because you're gaining weight and your clothes are too tight and you have to keep buying more. And you're going to now be able to get that job that you've always wanted, or even possibly have a date with that special someone. And once you make these, you're going to wake up every morning excited and full of energy and joy, and no more brain fog or sugar hangovers. Imagine that. Because of this, you're going to start having fun and doing things that you like and that make you happy. Your mate's going to find you truly irresistible, and your children will be proud of you for finally losing that weight and not being so unhappy and miserable. And you know, you're going to enjoy the little things that life has to offer. So now before we go much further, let me take a moment and introduce myself and tell you a little bit about me and why you should listen to me. So who I am, my name is Joan Teglovic, and the name of my business is Joan of Health. And I'm actually a board-certified health and weight loss coach, and I'm also a strategic intervention life coach and was trained by the same company that actually trained Tony Robbins. If you know about him, he's the #1 results coach in the world. So I have studied over 100 diets and theories and ways of eating, and I've been doing health coaching over 10 years now, and I've actually married health coaching and weight loss coaching with life coaching. And I'm actually very well known for my program called The Invisible Belly, and I specialize in helping women go on their very last diet and get a flatter stomach and healthier lifestyle for herself and also her family. I also had a very extensive corporate career. I was in the actual food business for many, many years. I was on the marketing and sales side, the manufacturing side, and also the distribution side. So I have a very unique perspective on what's going on with the foods out there that we're eating on a daily basis. And I know how the ingredients in this food affects your weight and also affects your health. I personally struggled for years with emotional eating, and I was also addicted to sugar and packaged foods, and now I've actually found freedom over food not controlling me, and that is something that I love to teach my clients. So here's a picture of my little dog. His name is Happy, and he's just actually the little love of my life. Isn't he cute? So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to talk about how I discovered these 5 shifts. So for years, as I said before, I struggled with my weight, with mood swings, and never feeling good about myself. And during one of my annual checkups, I was actually diagnosed with an ovarian tumor. And they didn't know at the time if it was cancerous. And ovarian tumors are usually terminal if they're cancerous within 5 years. So I was scheduled for surgery, and during my surgery, my doctor removed both of my ovaries, my cervix and uterus. So I could never have a baby. And that is something that haunts me to this day. Luckily, it wasn't cancerous. And after surgery, I asked my doctor, I said, well, how did this happen? And she said, you know what, we don't know. Just be happy that I don't have cancer. Well, you know what? I found this answer to be completely unacceptable. My whole reproduction system was just taken from me. And this was probably the biggest turning point ever in my life. And so I studied over 100 different diet theories, and I wanted to learn why this happened. And what I learned was that my diet and my lifestyle was making me sick, fat, and moody, and causing my health issues. Now, it took me over 20 years to figure this out. So what I did was I have incorporated these shifts that I'm about to share with you, and I'm healthy, happy, thin, and free. So the bottom line is this. There's 5 key shifts that you must make to lose weight, get back into shape, and effortlessly keep it off. And so I'm going to go ahead and walk you through these. So here's the first shift. This is what I say, get real. And what I mean by that is that the average American goes on 4 to 5 diets per year. And 99% that go on a diet, they fail, they gain back their weight, and then they gain more weight. 65% of Americans are overweight. And of those overweight Americans, 31% are obese and are at high risk for chronic diseases. And guess what? The odds are not stacked in your favor. So your body and your lifestyle is truly a mirror to how you've been living. And whatever is going on with your weight and health is because of what's going on inside of you. There's cause and there's effect. Whether you're conscious of it or not, there's cause and effect. So your mindset is what creates your actions, and your actions create your results. So if you're not getting the results that you want, it's because of your current mindset. And your mindset is what you're thinking, it's what you're focusing on, and it's your language. These three actually define what it is that you're going to be doing and how you live your life. So you need to learn what it means to take 100% responsibility for your health and your lifestyle, because without taking responsibility for it, nothing else matters. When I have a client, I always ask them, what is it? Why is it that you gained 55 pounds in a year and a half? Why? How did that happen? Well, I went through a bad divorce, or I have a lot of stress at work. I don't have time to cook. I spend all my time with my children. I don't like to exercise. I like to eat out. I like eating fast food. There's always an excuse. And you know what? You have to understand that you've got to take responsibility for this. And you have to also think about what it means to have integrity with your body and how you treat it. I have so many clients that actually have more integrity with their jobs, more integrity with their families and their friends and their lifestyle than they do with themselves. And so you've got to take a step back and start to think about that and make a personal commitment to implement a healthy lifestyle. Because like I said earlier, without that, nothing else matters. So you are either what I call a victim to circumstance, a victim to your environment, or you're a victor. You have the choice. The next shift that I want to talk about is what I call ditch the standard American diet. You see, 108 million Americans go on a diet and fail. Why is that? I mean, that's a lot of people, right? I'll tell you why. It's because they grow up eating the standard American diet, which is eating cereal and ice cream and cake and cookies, pastas, packaged goods, TV dinners, bagels, muffins, pizza, soda, diet soda, hamburgers and hot dogs, and foods with refined sugars and flour, foods with artificial sugars and sweeteners. Anything in a box has messed with our brain chemistry and how our bodies process what we eat and drink. You see, these foods have actually hijacked our hormones and our neurotransmitters by altering our brain chemistry. So what this does is it blocks our weight loss efforts, and it encourages us to binge eat, it triggers insatiable hungers, and it leaves us vulnerable to the willpower gap, where at the end of the day, we just don't have any willpower left, right? So it's no wonder that you're overweight, sick, and miserable. How many times have you just had dinner, all right? Had a nice, good old dinner there. Then you came home and you sat down to watch TV or a movie or something, and you grabbed a bag of chips and a half a gallon or so of ice cream, or maybe even a piece of cake. You ate them all, and you still didn't feel full or satisfied. Why do you think this is? I'll tell you why. It's because over time, our bodies cannot adapt to such a nonstop smorgasbord of calories from heavily processed foods and refined sugars and flours. Okay? So when we eat too much, the excess food that we don't immediately burns off. It goes into our fat cells. And as the cells become fuller, they secrete a hormone which is called leptin. And this is a feedback mechanism in the brain that's supposed to tell you, hey, I'm full, stop eating. So look at it like this. If you're, you're low on gas, you're getting ready to run out of gas. So what do? You go to the service station, you pull up, you get next to the pump, you take off your gas cap, You open it up, you put the pump inside, you start to pump your gas, right? So you're pumping the gas and pumping in the gas, and all of a sudden this click happens, and the pump no longer allows you to put any more gas into it. So you take the pump out, you put it back on the stand, you put your gas cap back on, you close it, you go. So just how that little click happened and said, hey, the gas tank is full, that's exactly what leptin is supposed to do and tell you that you're full and quit eating. So this doesn't happen. And it's because over time, eating the wrong foods has caused insulin levels to skyrocket in our body. And then this causes that leptin resistance, which is, like the gas tank, which the lever stops, but it's not happening here. So your brain isn't getting the message to tell you to stop eating. And our brains think we are starving. So we keep eating, so you stay fat. You see, it's not your fault that you're overweight. Here's another way that the standard American diet is sabotaging you. Have you ever done this? You've gone out of your way to eat a food that you're craving. For example, I used to drive about 10 miles to this specialty store for this certain brand of chocolate chip macadamia nut cookies. Oh my gosh, my mouth still salivates when I think of that. And once I would get there, I'd get back in my car and I'd sit there and I'd eat the whole bag in one sitting. We're talking about like 3 to 4 pounds of cookies. Why is this? I couldn't stop. I don't even, I would eat these and I wouldn't even remember it. And, why is this? It's because foods that are full of sugar, they hit a part of our brain, which are the dopamine receptors. Okay? And this is the feel-good center of the brain that makes you happy, and it also helps you to focus among a lot of other cool things. And when we're constantly eating a lot of foods that have refined sugars or flours in them, these receptors are flooded with too much dopamine. And it's kind of like this. Have you ever played pinball, or have you ever seen a pinball machine, and every time the ball hits the little the little lever in there, it starts to light up? Well, this is lighting up our brains on steroids. And our receptors, they're simply not designed to process so much chemicals and stimuli from, foods. So, these feel-good foods like cookies and candy and cake and ice cream and pizzas and sodas and things, they're just putting too much stimuli. So as a result, what our body does is it creates this process called downregulation. So it's like if you're getting gas and the little lever was broken, but you kept putting more gas in and more gas in and more gas in and more gas in. Well, the gas has got to go somewhere. So it goes into another place into the engine, and it messes up that part of the engine, right? So once again, it's the same thing, but in our bodies, it's called downregulation. So in a nutshell, it changes the physiology of your brain chemistry, and it leaves you always craving some type of stimulus to keep you happy, like sweets or candy or cookies or coffee or cigarettes or amphetamines. And, so that's why we get moody and go crazy if we don't get our food fixes. Can you relate to that? So once again, as a result, you're always going to be craving or desiring more foods to make you feel good. And these foods truly become addictive. So you may not be able to help but want more. And here's the thing. Sugar is said to be 8 times more addictive than cocaine. And guess what? The food companies know this, and they thrive on it. Think about your day today. Think about how much sugar or foods with sugar or even artificial sugars that you consumed. And think about where you went today. Everywhere there was some product that was available that had sugar in it, right? So have some compassion for yourself, because once again, it's not your fault that you're overweight. So now why am I telling you all of this? I know that was kind of heavy. So the key here is to take that information now and help you understand how sensitive you are to the pull of these different types of foods that you've been eating. Because you see, not everybody is equally sensitive. For example, there's some people that can go buy a cupcake and say, oh, no thanks, I don't want any. Then there's another person that can eat a cupcake or maybe one piece of cake or maybe a piece of pizza and be done with it. And then there's other people that they have one cookie, then another cookie, then another cookie, or one piece of pizza and another piece of pizza, and they can't stop. So you have to understand that there's different levels of sensitivity. And once we can determine what your sensitivity is, then and only then can we put together a proper weight loss program that's truly sustainable. So this is the answer. All right, so now we're going to talk about a case study. This is actually Diane, and her highest weight was 199 pounds, current weight 125, and her height's 5 feet 5 inches, and she's 40 years of age. And she struggled for years with her weight, went on her first diet when she was 14, and was always trying the next new diet. She went on all the different diets out there, and at one point she got down to her goal weight, but then within 2 months she was back up to 145 pounds, and then her weight kept increasing up to 199. And she lived like this for many decades, and she was always tired, not a lot of energy, and most of all, she was ashamed of her weight. So after she started the Invisible Belly program, she was shocked at how addicted that she was to pizza and chocolate and ice cream and things like that. And it took her a few months to actually completely change how she was eating. But about 4 weeks into the program, something amazing happened. Her body just started to drop weight, and her energy started to increase. She was waking up feeling more energetic. Her sugar hangovers were gone. And she had always suffered with having a lot of inflammation in her hands or feet. That started to go away as well. She started feeling lighter and started to feel pretty again. And she's since reached her goal weight and is a totally different person. And she's got a new outlook on life and just grateful to be in this program. And she says, hey, I got my healthy back. All right, so now we're going to talk about the next shift, which is my total mind-body reboot, which is my secret weapon. So as we talked about earlier, understanding your sensitivity to the pull of refined foods and packaged goods is the most powerful way to bridge yourself from yo-yo weight loss to sustainable weight loss. So the first thing that we want to do is show you how to eat the right foods that fixes your brain chemistry so that you don't have any more binge eating or insatiable hunger, broken willpower, and crazy mood swings, right? So we can incorporate a proven meal plan and structure for what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, anytime and any place, once again, specifically tailored for you and your lifestyle. So keep in mind, as I talked about earlier, 80% is mindset and 20% is strategy, right? So we're going to work with your mindset and also give you the right strategy so that, you can get on your merry way. Now, here's the old way, which we've all found, which we've all, done, is, okay, we're going to start the new or the latest diet tomorrow, right? And we're going to count calories or fat grams, work out 3 to 4 times a week, go vegan or paleo or keto, or maybe eat more plant-based. Maybe we can try, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, or Beachbody, or any of the latest health programs out there, and get a trainer. Stop eating carbs, which so many people think, oh, I'll just stop eating carbs. Stop drinking alcohol for a while. Oh, of course, drink more water. But you know what? We all know, because we've tried all of these, none of these are sustainable. So here is the new way. The new way is my mind-body reboot, which can replace all of these with my simple process. use the mind-body reboot. We start with the mindset, right? We eat the foods that are right for our bodies, and we fix our brain chemistry. Lose the weight. Enjoy your new lifestyle. It's that easy. So here's another case study with Denise. Her highest weight was 175 pounds. Her current weight 140. She's 5'8" and 40 years of age. She grew up on the standard American diet with lots of hamburgers, hot dogs, meat, potatoes, and sweets. She lived in a household where her mom was obese, and so were all of her friends that she hung out with. They lived in the Midwest where it was cold and dreary, and what they did mainly for entertainment, everything was revolved around food. They cooked, or they went out to eat, or they had a lot of dinner parties. She was so determined to get skinny that in high school she went out on a starvation diet and ended up in the hospital after having an anxiety attack from being dehydrated and malnourished. And that was a turning point in her life. She came home, and guess what? She gained more weight. And she realized at that moment that she just accepted, you know what? I'm just going to be fat, and I'm going to stop trying. So she got married and had 2 children. And after her husband dumped her for a slimmer and younger woman, she decided that it was time for her to face whatever it was to lose this weight and keep it off. And when she found the Invisible Belly program, what really helped her to lose the weight quickly was the structure. And of course, the support of a loving coach, which gave her accountability. And she lost 35 pounds. And the beautiful thing is that she hasn't gained a single pound back. The food plan and structure and foods made it very easy for her to stick to. She knows what she's going to be eating in advance. She's in control of her health and her life. And if she ever finds herself starting to slip, she's got all the tools that she needs. And this is a lifelong journey, and she's very happy to be on it. Okay, all right, let's keep going. And let's do a quick little recap here. So we talked about getting real and the dangers of what's going on with food out there, and how you've got to take 100% responsibility for your health and understand what it means to actually have total integrity with your body. You need to ditch the standard American diet and eat the right foods for your body and brain chemistry, because you know what? It's making you sick and fat, and it's not your fault. And we talked about how to use my secret weapon, which is the total mind-body reboot for sustainable weight loss. So now we're going to talk about the next shift, which is leverage your metabolism for quicker results. So what I mean by this is, do not exercise during the weight loss phase, because what happens is when you're trying to lose weight and you're exercising, it actually results in weight gain. That's right. When we decrease food consumption, our metabolism slows down, so we function with less food, right? This is normal when you're when you're trying to lose weight. So as you increase exercise while decreasing food consumption, this also lowers your metabolism. So during the weight loss phase, exercising has the opposite effect, and it's what we call compensation. So it makes you hungrier and more susceptible to going off of your diet. And you know that voice within that I call the saboteur? It actually tells you, oh, go ahead and have a latte or an after-dinner workout muffin or a bagel or another piece of pizza or maybe a frozen yogurt or an ice cream. You know that voice inside? And this is one of the biggest reasons that most diets fail. Like I said, oh, how do you lose weight? You reduce your calories, you go on an exercise plan, and then you're going to lose weight and keep it off. No, this is one of the biggest reasons. It's because the weight loss phase is a very special time in your life, and your body is going through a lot. It's releasing stored up toxins and bacteria and inflammation. That's heavy and hard on your body. So it's tired all the time. And then you add exercise on top of that, it just derails derails your efforts. So keep in mind, I love to exercise. I exercise all the time. But it's okay to start exercising once we get your weight off, all right? And you will exercise the rest of your life. But it's just so important that we first change that behavior. We condition the mindset so that you're sticking to this new way of eating before you add something on top of that. All right? So this is very, very key, and this will very much make you successful with sustainable weight loss. Okay, here's another case study, and this is Camilla. Her highest weight was 165 pounds. Her lowest weight, 115. Actually, her current weight. She's 5'4" and 48 years of age. And she suffered from being overweight most of her life, and her parents were alcoholics and were always fighting. As a child, food was comfort to her. She loved binging on donuts, M&Ms, and ice cream. And she says that she could never stop. And she tried Weight Watchers and Atkins and diet pills and Overeaters Anonymous, and she wanted vitamins and shakes and whatever detoxes were out there. And as she got older, she was able to use exercise and regular dieting to control her weight, but it was never consistent. And she got caught up in the let me eat, go exercise, let me eat, go exercise, which is very, very hard on your body. And you know, she was ashamed, and she used to pray to God for help. Can any of you relate to that? And when she found the Invisible Belly program, it was different than anything she'd ever tried, and it addressed the root cause and the effects. So within 4 weeks, her weight started coming off, and it's been over 3 years now that she's maintained her goal weight, and she feels and looks great, and she's found a freedom that she never had before. She's free of food controlling her, and she and her husband are madly in love. Okay, the last shift here is what I call invest in coaching. That's right. You see, over 108 million Americans go on 4 to 5 diets a year, and they fail. And this is due to the foods from the standard American diet that we discussed. Now, 63% of people, unfortunately, are going to die this year from diet-related diseases like cancer, diabetes, strokes, autoimmune. And over the next 20 years, developed nations are going to spend over $47 trillion on diseases that's caused by the global industrialized diet. Don't be another statistic. Do not go at it alone anymore. Find the best coach out there and invest whatever it takes to work with them and get well. You see, trying to lose weight and keep it off and maintain a healthy lifestyle is almost impossible to do on your own, right? We all know that. So how many times will you continue to try and fail? Everyone needs coaching and accountability to achieve a sustainable, desired result. So today I promised why you cannot control yourself around certain foods and what you can do about it. I promised to show you how you can sculpt an incredible head-turning body without going on crazy diets. We talked about how to finally get back into your skinny jeans even if you haven't been able to for years. I promised to show you how you can shed unwanted belly fat without going to the gym, and how to start to live in the body of your dreams even if you've given up, and how to stick to the right meal plan without relying on willpower or falling prey to insatiable eating and binge eating. And we talked about how to use my secret weapon to keep it off forever. So here's what you need to win. You need to get real and take 100% responsibility for your health and learn to have integrity with your body. You need to ditch the standard American diet and eat the right foods for your body and brain chemistry. You need to use my secret weapon, the Mind-Body Reboot, for sustainable weight loss. And leverage your metabolism. Invest in coaching. You see, these 5 shifts alone are enough to propel you to lose all of your weight quickly and keep it off forever. Imagine your last diet ever. So now you have a choice. You can either take the information I've given you and you can forget all about it and keep struggling with weight on, weight off, gaining more weight, getting sicker, possibly getting a chronic illness. You know the odds are stacked in your favor that you will. And you can go back to your old ways of eating and continue to try different meal plans and exercise plans. And you can continue to not like how you look and feel and not be able to wear the clothes that you want or not be able to go to the places that you want because you're ashamed. And you can continue to live with low energy and the secret fear of getting a disease like cancer, diabetes, or even having a stroke or heart attack. You know, if you're done with this and this way of living and you truly want to get into the best shape of your life in the next 45 to 60 days and really unlock your potential and your gorgeousness and have a ton of energy and feel vibrant and confident that lasts all day long so you can perform at your peak. And imagine walking into a room, maybe at work or at a restaurant or a meeting, and command attention because people can sense and hear and feel the confidence pouring out of you because you are so beautiful and healthy and happy and thin. If this is what you want, here's what I have for you. My team and I have set up aside some time in the next 45 hours to speak to you personally about how you can apply these shifts to start losing weight today. So whatever your biggest challenges are, you know, we've seen it and we know how to overcome it. During this session, what we're going to do is we're going to craft a step-by-step plan that's going to help you to start to lose the weight, whether you have 10 pounds or 70 pounds or more to lose. And you're going to learn how to keep it off forever. The cost is absolutely free. You must be open to trying something new. So this is for those who must be ready and committed to lose your extra weight and keep it off. If that's you, then book a session now. Why am I doing this? Is because I truly have an insatiable desire to end suffering. I've been there and I know what it's like to suffer on the weight loss merry-go-round. You heard my story. I personally was in the food business for many years and I know what's in the foods that we're eating here in America. And I don't want to see people suffer anymore and go back on these crazy ways of eating and eating foods that are truly poisoning them and watch as your weight goes up and down. And I don't want you or anyone else to live like this anymore because you know what? I have the answers. And I'm doing this because I love giving back and helping women finally lose the weight that's held them back for years. And I want to make this world a better place to live, a healthier place for ourselves and our families and the next generations. Plus, you know what? We know that you might want our help to help transform your body and your health. And if so, we can discuss it and see if it's a good fit for both of us. And you know what? If not, that's okay too. Because this will be the most amazing 45 minutes that you will spend regarding your health and your life. So go ahead and book a call. Spaces are limited. I do fill up quickly. So I look forward to speaking with you on the other side, and go ahead and sign up now. Thank you.